Imagine building something in 8 weeks that a company worth $66 billion looks at and says, we'll pay $1 billion for that. No revenue, 13 employees, an app that had existed for less time than it takes some companies to approve a logo redesign. This isn't a story about luck. It's a story about a man who kept deleting things until only the thing people actually wanted was left. His name was Kevin Systrom, and in 2012, he did something almost nobody had done before. He agreed to sell a company with $0 in revenue for a headline price of $1 billion. Stick around, because the way this happened will change how you think about what a company is even worth. Let's rewind. Kevin Systrom didn't set out to build Instagram. He built something called Burbn. Burbn was a check-in app. Think Foursquare, but cluttered. You could check in at locations, make plans, earn points for hanging out with friends, and post photos. It did 5 things, and it did all 5 averagely. Systrom and his co-founder, Mike Krieger, looked at their own usage data and noticed something strange. Users weren't checking in. They weren't making plans. They were doing one thing: posting photos and commenting on each other's photos. So Systrom did something most founders can't bring themselves to do. He killed his own idea. He killed Burbn. He kept just 4 things: photos, filters, likes, comments. Everything else gone. That stripped-down app, built in roughly 8 weeks, launched on October 6, 2010. It was called Instagram. Here's where the story gets almost unbelievable. Instagram hit 25,000 downloads on its first day. Within a year, it had over 1 million users. By early 2012, it had around 30 million. And the team building all of this, 13 people. 1-3. Facebook at the same time had over 3,000 employees. Picture that. Facebook had over 200 people for every 1 person working at Instagram, and Instagram was still pulling in tens of millions of users. No ads, no revenue model, no subscription tier, nothing. The entire business was, people love using this and we'll figure out the money later. By the time Facebook came calling, Instagram had existed for about 18 months. Not a decade, not even 3 years. A year and a half from launch to a deal that would make headlines around the world. April 12th, Zuckerberg invites Kevin Systrom to his house, not a boardroom, not a lawyer's office, his house. Over that meeting and the negotiations that followed, Zuckerberg makes an offer that stuns even people inside Facebook when they hear about it. $1 billion, cash and stock, negotiated directly with Systrom, largely bypassing Facebook's own board in the early stages, for a company with 13 employees and no revenue whatsoever. The deal was announced April 9, 2012. Here's a detail most retellings leave out. By the time the acquisition actually closed a few months later, Facebook's own stock price had dropped. Since part of the payment was in stock, the deal that was announced at $1 billion closed at closer to $715 million. Still, at the time, it was one of the largest prices ever paid for a company with no revenue at all. Wall Street analysts were split. Some called it visionary. Others called it the tech industry losing its mind. Turns out, Zuckerberg wasn't buying revenue. He was buying attention, and a threat he could see coming before anyone else. Here's the plain English version of what Zuckerberg actually saw. In business, people mix up 2 very different things: revenue and value. Revenue is money coming in right now. Value is what something is worth, based on where it's headed, who owns it, and what happens if your biggest competitor gets there first. Instagram had no revenue, but it had something much harder to build: behavior. Millions of people had made posting photos with filters a daily habit. Habits are sticky. You can add revenue later, but once a competitor steals people's habits, you almost never get them back. Zuckerberg wasn't buying an app. He was buying insurance against a future where Instagram became the next Facebook and Facebook became the next MySpace. That price tag wasn't about what Instagram was earning.
It was about what it would have cost Facebook to let Instagram become a rival. Sometimes the smartest deal in business isn't the one that makes the most money, it's the one that stops a bigger loss. Within a few years, Instagram was making hundreds of millions of dollars in ad revenue every quarter. By 2018, it had over 1 billion active users. Some analysts have since guessed its value at tens of billions of dollars, far more than Facebook actually paid. The exact number is debatable, but the direction isn't. A deal that looked reckless in 2012 now looks like one of the smartest in tech history. And Kevin Systrom? He ran Instagram for 6 more years under Facebook before stepping down in 2018 to build something new. He didn't chase a second billion-dollar exit. He'd already proven the point. Every fortune has a funeral, and sometimes the funeral comes first. Burbn, the original app, the one Kevin Systrom actually set out to build, had to die for Instagram to live. The real skill here wasn't coding, it wasn't design, it was being willing to look at something he built with his own hands and cut away everything that wasn't working. Most founders fall in love with their first idea. Systrom fell in love with his users' behavior instead. And that one decision, made in a matter of weeks, not years, turned into 18 months that changed the internet forever. If you want to see the next story of a fortune or a funeral, subscribe. We post every week.